Good morning and welcome to Activate Your Power Now. Activate relationships. Yeah. I'm like, woo, okay. I'm trying to get used to all this. So as you know, we're in a new space. We are at Homer's Coffee Shop, Overland Park, Kansas. And we want to give a thanks for them for allowing to host us with this switch that we had. But I really want to thank everybody for being here today because, like always, we do understand that you could have been anywhere else, right? Life pulls us in many different directions, but you chose to be here today with us. And for that, we have a great list of speakers today. And we are going to get started with Evan grounding, centering us,
yes,
and helping us to be present before we officially get started.
Yes. So helping us come together a little bit and bringing a sense of harmony into the room. Just go ahead and gently find a comfortable seat in your chair, on the floor, wherever you're comfortable at home. Roll your shoulders back a few times, and then let them rest, putting your shoulder blades into your back pocket. I want you to think of that. And just take a deep breath in through your nose, and exhale gently through your nose, allowing yourself to settle in this moment, in this space, collectively, in person and online, in this community of activators, stepping into and activating their power. Continue to breathe as you are appreciating the presence that you are in, at home, in this community. Just feeling that fresh oxygen deeply into and through your body. Right. To help activate our energy today, I want you to take another deep breath in and place your palms together right in front of you. And then we're going to briskly rub our palms together, creating warmth in between them. Breathing in. Good. Keep it going. Maybe pick it up a little bit. Pick up that speed. Make them hands hot. Activate them hands. And then with one final deep breath in. Exhale. I want you to extend your hands out towards the screen or to everyone else in the room, creating an energetic bubble, energetic connection for us all to share the information, share the weave, and then we all go into this session, this space with open hearts, open minds, and open ears. To your left, and gently open your eyes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Welcome to Activate Your Power Now, our Activate Relationship series.
Right. So I want to start off with a question for everybody. Who here is in a relationship? And that doesn't mean romantic. Who here is in a relationship or has relationships? That should be exactly everybody in the room and everybody online. Because relationships, we automatically think romantic, a romantic partner, but what some of us fail to understand or be aware of, all kinds of things, right? And it's how you can pinpoint what you have a relationship with is what do you spend your time doing? Because what we spend our time doing, we're connected to, right? We're building something, we're creating something with everything that we do, with everything that we speak. So for me, relationships, right, an intentional part of, for intentional living, what that means like for relationships It's just being aware, right? That's the pause, that's the breath that allows you in your life and around you. So today I really would like to start by inviting everybody to commit or write down that you're going to go on a journey of discovering where your relationship energy on. And by doing that, as we start unfolding that, we start figuring out the why's pushing us, right? Why do we spend time doing that? Or so much time doing that? Or so much time avoiding that?
For sure.
So that's, I wanted to start with that. And that's not something you're going to get done here today, but it's something that as you go home, start just writing, and it'll come to you. What needs to be put on the paper.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's that gaining awareness, right? You're not going to get more that you're identifying or recognizing, hey, I feel great when I'm around this person, or I feel great doing this. And recognizing when the opposite is happening. What's draining your energy? What relationships are no longer serving you? Maybe what got you here is not going to get you to the next place.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to have you go too deep into that because you are our first speaker today. So before he gets into all the meats and potatoes of what he's bringing, because I see some new faces in the room, and I know we always have new people join us online. But activate your power now. What this community is we're a community of people who believe that our story is our pathway to our purpose, right? So we encourage people by stepping forward and being a leader in activating our story. And by activating it, that means we've taken the time to do the inner work, to break down what was the why pushing us behind everything we experienced and how we dealt with it. And then making that plan, that power path process of what will I choose to do with this new awareness moving forward. Once you activate your story, a natural part of that next is to activate the power of your voice, right? Once you feel powerful in that story, we invite you to come step on this stage and now share a piece of your story, knowing that it's not only causing healing within you, but it's triggering healing in somebody else. It's making somebody else feel seen, feel heard, and maybe in some cases even feel understood, where maybe they felt so misunderstood in life before. So with all of that being said, again, I'd like to welcome you, and I would love to welcome our first speaker, Evan.
Thank you, Izzy. I'm so grateful to be up here and sharing the space with you always. So, kind of jumping into it because we already are on a roll. We feel that momentum, that inertia building, where we're going to be led today through our journey. And so we're talking about the awareness, right? Like our experiences, or maybe some people might say compare, right? Compare ourselves to other people when we don't know exactly what they have going on or what their situation is. We know what we have through the relationship that we have, through the connection with them. Maybe that's a deep connection, maybe it's more of a shallow one. But we look at all these different things and how we are interacting with them. And sometimes we may critically judge what we have going on compared to them. And so in that moment of realization, or that moment of gaining information about what's actually going on in your life, you're noticing how it's interacting with you, right? Every time you go and look at such and such a page, you feel inadequate. You feel like I'm not doing enough, or my life could be greater. Or you're talking with your friend and it's like, oh, well, they have so many great things going on. I wish I had some great things like that going on. When is it going to be my turn? When is it going to be, right? But I really had to do those in my own life where I find myself looking at other people's marriages, other people's relationships to their jobs, their career, and even with themselves. You know, who here has had to build a relationship with themselves or rebuild a relationship with themselves? Everybody's hand. So all of that, all of your interactions are actually pointing back to yourself, right? Right? The universe is you in reverse. Maybe you've heard that before, maybe you haven't. If you didn't, go ahead and write that down for me. And so you're looking at everything as a reflection of you, right? The things that you like about a person or you love about a person, the things that you dislike or don't really care for in another person, some of that might exist within you too, right? And so with that cognitive dissonance, right, is another word that when you're having this internal turmoil about the things that you're receiving, information receiving from the outside world, as well as internal. The woman, she's the boss, like when she walks into a room, you can feel the energy shift. And then people see that, feel that way. You're like, oh, I walk in a room, I try to hide, or I'm very quiet, I listen to people most of the time, so that way I don't feel like I'm causing any conflict. And I don't really want to speak and say that this action that this person has taken has caused some kind of offense or reaction to me. We're not saying anything about it to protect the relationship, right? But really, what relationship are you damaging? You're damaging the relationship. Like you're your friend, right? Your best friend, that will literally marry themselves or commit to themselves that they're going to do such and such action setting. You're vowing that you're going to take these actions, love this person, accept this person throughout all these different ranges, peaks and valleys. Do you have a code that you maybe even you can call it a code of ethics, maybe of how you're treating yourself or allowing yourself to be in your surroundings? Your connections, your relationships. So first thing is we have to become aware of what we have going on within ourselves. Personally, I've gone through my journey with this, and we all still have a journey that we go through. Going along, taking step by step, recognize that the relationship that I have with myself isn't all that great sometimes, or maybe it's, hey, I'm actually pretty good with myself. Where are some areas that I work, or what areas can I strengthen myself in, or where can I pour more energy into to foster a better relationship? Okay, who's here close with like family members, blood family members? Kids count, yes. Okay. Now, does anyone have people here that they may not be blood related, but you consider them family? More hands in the room than that one. Because it's what you make it. It's who you choose, right? What you choose to do, who you choose to allow in your life, what you choose to take place in your life, and how you choose to interact with it, right? So, little story here. I recently went to go visit some family that I hadn't seen in actually about 2 years because our relationship, has been peaks and valleys, right? We have high moments and low moments, and sometimes those relationships we have more low moments or perceived low moments than necessarily high or even equal playing field, right? And so to me, to improve my relationship with her. And through my efforts, my best efforts in doing it and strengthening it. Now, when I say I've done everything I can, I've done everything as to completely bend over backwards to do the things that were draining my finances, right? And it's never good enough. Nothing was ever satisfying enough, right? And so I was taking that and then projecting that label onto myself. I'm not good enough, right? If I can't give love to this person, someone that's really dear to me, must be something wrong with me. But in the actuality, it's not you. It's not just you. The other person's involvement is in it too. And sometimes you have to step away from those relationships or step away from that person, thing, even, that is causing this emotional backlash. Okay? And it's in that stepping away we can get a wider perspective, a bigger view, and we can actually take a look at what's actually taking place. And sometimes you see it in layers that, okay, the actions that I'm doing here, that was the best that I could do then. And if this was another person, that would have been more than enough. Or this would have been just right. Problem. Right? Underlying problem is, for one, the person has some things with them that they need to recover, that they need to heal. And the actions that you're taking is not going to make that person feel whole within themselves if they especially don't see it and do not want to see it or not willing to take action to do something about it. And so in this time, I want to invite you to think of what relationships can you deactivate? And it could be for a time, right? Short period of time, a sabbatical, one might say, right? A little vacation, a break, and doing something else with that energy, right? Maybe that's rebuilding a relationship with you, or maybe it's spending time with other things, other people, other habits that make you feel good afterwards, after you disconnect with them, or you notice that your energy picks up, or you feel more vibrant, you feel more alive, you feel like, yes, I got some energy, I can go and take on the world. And then deactivating those relationships that are draining your energy, those energetic vampires, the people, things that end up being a black hole for the energy that you're trying to give. Until they heal the relationship with themselves, or until you heal the relationship with yourself. You're not going to have the full eyes or even capability to see what is actually going on. And so my optimistic mindset is, I still thank that person for that time. And sometimes we have friends that are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Our job is to discern and intentionally choose the ones that we want for a lifetime. And so I've chosen people in this room, and I'm so grateful for your time and attention. And I pass it back up to Izzy. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. You know, and I love the last thing I wrote down that you said was, what relationships can I deactivate?
Yes.
So although we're all about activating this and that, you know, we're wise enough to know that it requires deactivating to step into that new activation anyways. You know, so thank you for that. And then I heard the energy vampire, and that's come up a lot throughout the years with Activate Your Power now, these energy vampires. And, you know, as I spent time with that, I'm like, man, you know, us that are givers, it's like, okay, we want to give. That's part of our purpose. And I feel like sometimes the most heartbreaking thing about those energy vampires is that you're like, take it, you need it, I have it to give. And they do nothing with it. You know what I mean? I'm like, so that black hole, it's like they're not, they have no goals, doing nothing intentional, so it's just getting lost in there, you know. And but for all of those who take the energy, right? It's an energy transfer, it's a mirror when we're experiencing life. So there's the people who need it, we can reflect off each other, we can transmit energy. And they're gonna go do something productive with it. They're gonna go do something great with it. And that really makes it all worth it, right? So it's not stop being who you're created to be, but it's about crafting it. And that requires that discernment, that awareness that Evan was speaking on. And eliminating, deactivating that comparison. Because you can't have both. So you gotta choose what side you wanna be on, right? So thank you, Evan, that was great. Our next speaker is Miss Shannon. And yeah, let's go ahead and get, I think you'll be fine right there. And then that's your personal, so I'm doing it a little different today.
I want you to think about a list or write down whatever you want to do, the top 5 things that you love. Give you a second. That may be too long, but are you on that list? Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Guilty. Oh, God.
And how far down? And if you are on that list, how far down are you?
That's fun though.
Yes, indeed.
This last year and a half or two, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure me out. A lot of time self-reflecting, a lot of time figuring out who Shannon is. I want you to imagine being friendly. Physically self-explanatory, I think. But internally. When I was born, nobody knew me. I was rushed to a city away for them to do all surgeries that they needed to do because I wasn't in a hospital that had the availability back in the early 80s to be able to do that. Everybody was flying by the seat of their pants. And so was I. I've been in fight or flight mode most of my life. I never really got a chance to relax. I never got a chance to figure out who I am. Be me, and if I'm completely honest, I feel like I was never given permission to do so. So I wrapped my life around, number one, when I was 3, 4, 5, I was back then they called it the poster child for March of Dimes, but I was the ambassador for the March of Dimes. I was in front of TVs, I was in newspapers, I was in charge of speaking in front of fundraisers at 3, 4, and 5. It started there. But at 5 years old, my favorite song was Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All. And at 5 years old, I understood the lyrics. Because you need to be able to love yourself in order to handle that kind of life. Become yourself. And I really wish I would have hung on to that. For the last month, I've tried to figure out how I wanted to go about this talk. And then that song came on my playlist. And then I knew. I poured myself into sports. But I was an athlete. I wasn't Shannon. I did everybody else. Because that's how I thought that I needed to be loved and accepted. I didn't feel like I was good enough as myself to be able to take up space. And that poured into the marriage that I had for 16 years. I was his shadow for 16 years. I lived his life. What I did was his, no me. Because I felt like, if I'm going to want, I put up with it because I felt like I had to have a roof over my head. And all it did was destroy me internally. When we say we need keeping, is it ours or theirs, or is it ours? Because if it's theirs and not ours, then what's the point? We were put on this earth to take up space. We were put on this earth to build relationships with people and to make a difference. And I started to realize that, but I didn't know how to get out. I didn't feel like there was a way out. So much so that I drowned myself, literally, to try to cope with, was to get help with alcohol. It wasn't because of him, it was because to get help with the alcohol. And when I got back to Kansas City and started unpacking everything, when I started therapy, God didn't show me. He showed me that I take accountability for everything that I allowed to happen. And yes, I was on the other side of that negative stuff too at times, but what happened, I allowed. And what kind of disrespect does that say for I didn't? And it wasn't until Izzy said to me, was you need to change how you talk to yourself and how you talk about yourself. I mean, how can speaking that stuff out loud make any sense? How is that going to change anything? And I said, another thing he said to me a few months later was, I hope one day it clicks on how to be human. And I stayed on that for a couple of days because it hurt. And then I asked him, I said, what do you mean? What does it mean? I hope one day it clicks on having communication and connection. You gotta be able to conversate with people, to be able to connect with people, and lead with love. A couple months after that, I ended up in the hospital, getting the opportunity to learn how to be human. I had to advocate for myself. I had to build those relationships with those doctors, nurses, and all the hospital staff there, or I wasn't going to literally survive. Where I was in a spot for 3 months straight, and I got to really know that hospital staff, and they would come into my room to take care of me, but they would also talk. They would also share personal stuff with me, and then they would stop us right now internally. If you go out there and take care of everybody else, you're not going to be able to take care. You're not going to be able to. You're going to mess something up, and what you need to do is sit here, get it out, and then go take care of everybody else, because you're not going to be able to take care of everybody. In order to do your job, let me be mine. Let me be helpful for once. I'm like, I'm here in hospital, but I got nothing better to do. And then I started feeling like I can take up space, like I can make a difference again. Like I was trying to start to come into my own, and it started in a hospital bed. And then the connections I made online were, I met one person through a podcast, and she has absolutely changed my life. And then in January, we kind of split apart for a while. And 9 days ago, I saw her again for the first time. And this is where I learned that healthy relationships can trigger the heck out of you, but they're also good. I have a really hard time letting go of people that I feel like I need to hang on to. But if you let go of those people, it not only lets go of the suffocation of them. I don't know how else to put that right now. But it also gives God a chance to step in and do what he does best, to heal both of you individually. And that's what happened with this person and one other one. And when this person came back into my life 9 days ago, Izzy witnessed it. She, there was a glow to her that was like none other, and it was really good to see. I was really overstimulated because we were in a crowded setting, but then when she came up, it was like everything just left, and I was completely relaxed. And that was the best feeling I've had in a really long time. I don't look at them as negative anymore. I look at them as a baseline to know where you have to work, know where you have to, know what you still have to work on. And put in that work. And let God do his job.
That's right.
And I want to end with something that this person said about a year ago on this very platform, because it really puts together relationships. It describes relationships with God. God is love. Therefore, I am love. God is love. God is love, therefore I am love. I am because He is. I am because you are. And I am because we are. Love. And that's what relationships are all about.
Yes, thank you. That was super powerful. And
crying.
I know, I'm like, you know, it brought me to a headspace of just being reminded, because we align in the story of where God had to totally slow us down. And it was in that slow down time, that time where we didn't have, being our normal self wasn't an option, you know, distractions and staying busy and all this stuff. So you get to reveal things about yourself and all kinds of things within you. And I've got to see from when we first met, when you were in the hospital, and I've got to see just your spirit, the way you speak to yourself, the way you speak to others. I've seen it just grow and blossom and continue to grow some more and bear fruit, and people now are being able to grab that fruit and eat and get fulfilled, right, with all these great things that you shared with us, which was self-reflection. And I feel like self-reflection is one of those, talking to a class of people, is we all need to be practicing self-reflection. That's, again, that pause, that breath, and allowing for God or Source to reveal what needs to be revealed at that time to you. So thank you, Shannon, for your share. Thank you for your story. And I really want to say this again that you mentioned, you know, we stay silent to keep the peace, but whose peace are we really keeping? So do with that what you will. I know I will. So thank you again, and we'll go ahead and move on to our next speaker, which is not a stranger at all to activate your power now. However, we haven't had the pleasure of having him come speak this year very much, but it's because coming forward from before him, because of all the work he put in before we met, but at least since we've met, again, just watching when you show up for yourself, what starts to happen in life. So welcome, Gary.
Hey, welcome everybody. Man, what a topic. Relationships. And before I even jump into that, I love y'all, I gotta say. And I'm not whole so much. But hard topic for me because in the journey of a warrior, I've dealt with so many different types of relationships. You know, probably 2-3 romantic relationships in the last 3-4 years. Work relationships, family relationships, friendships, you know, relationships, ships, all the ships, as they would say. I've learned a lot, and I'm to Izzy's point. I'm taking a class right now on that I haven't dealt with. Is the relationship of grief that we all deal with. So it's because I even though was there, I'm dealing with things that I've, you know, tucked tail and ran from. I've run to a lot of my issues, but grief, man, it was one of those ones that I just, like, Lord, I'm not ready for that. And he's been shaking me and saying, son, there's a level I need to get you to that you got to deal with this first. So I'm all about relationships. If anybody knows me, I'm all about relationships. That's what I'm. Class, memory, it's hard to remember things. So I gotta write stuff now. I know that will come back in due time, but so I've rewritten this so many different times and settled kind of last night even from the space of the journey of a warrior that I've had to deal with in my time frame. So relationships are the cornerstone of human experience, shaping our identities and influencing our paths in profound ways. They can be a source of immense joy, support, and growth, which I've experienced. Yet, they also require effort, vulnerability, and understanding. Yeah, I said the V word, vulnerability. If you're going to be involved in any productive relationship, you've got to be vulnerable. At their best, relationships foster a deep to share their dreams, fears, and aspirations. How many of you have those kind of relationships? That bring deep belonging and connection that allows you to really open yourself in ways that you've never been able to. We talked about one of the people talked about, I think it was Izzy said about family. Yeah, I got family, but this is my family. When that last sentence, this group of people have allowed me to open myself in ways that I never even thought possible. That my family, nothing, no knock against my family, just is what it is. But I have to give thanks for this group of people that have allowed Gary to be Gary, unapologetically. The essence, next point, the essence of healthy relationships lies in communications. The essence of healthy relationships do you have that are bad or fit relationship? Open and honest dialogue creates an environment where both parties, don't be selfish, both parties feel free to be heard and valued. This transparency not only strengthens bonds, but also helps to navigate conflicts that we know are coming. You know, you got two different people entering a space. We know conflict is going to come. Doesn't matter how much I love it. It's easy. We're two different backgrounds. As much as we love being around each other, we're going to at some point have conflict. And if we don't have communication, that could be the possibility of an end of a relationship, right? Simple communication. It is through these challenges that relationships can evolve, deepening trust and understanding. More, man, again, and believe in us. I mean, I'm thinking about the conversations that we've had, that this group of people have challenged me. And in the moment, I might have got mad. You know, they don't even know me. You get in your feelings. But when you have time to reflect, I'm like, they said exactly what I needed to say to move me to my next level, to my next point. So I can never say thank you enough. This encouragement can lead to new experiences and perspectives, enriching our lives in ways that we might not even imagine. That is the current space that I'm in. Work out opportunities for myself. And when I got to a place where I just sat down and was quiet and let Abba Father forge the ways for me. So I'm currently a recruiter, our regional recruiter at Concord Career College. I'm the high school recruiter. Anybody that knows anything about me, I'm a basketball coach. I love young people, love youth. So what a better opportunity for a man like me and a heart like me now to be forced through my job to go into high schools all around the city, recruiting kids to Concord College. But what did that do for me? And it's an opportunity, knowing my gifts and my, you know what? Now I get to go back to those places, not representative of a Concord recruiter, but as Gary.
Yes. Yeah.
As Gary, for a business that I've created, now I get to go and be a public speaker in the same places that my job created for me.
Right.
I'm just excited. I'm in a good place. Okay. So, however, it's essential to recognize that not all relationships relationships are beneficial. Toxic relationships can drain our energy. I heard, what was your term? He's already gone, okay.
Black hole.
Yeah, the black hole and the
Energy
energy vampires, I relate to all of that. I missed it. Toxic relationships can drain our energy and diminish our self-worth. Identifying unhealthy dynamics is crucial to maintaining our well-being, bound for growth and happiness. Isn't that what we all ultimately want? Growth and happiness? So why is it? I love when you said we get to turn it off. Do you understand that? That there's points in our life we have the right, the God-given right, to just say enough is enough.
Yes.
In the journey of a warrior, I've learned to just pour and pour and pour. But in reflection and growth now, I've learned to pour only from overflow.
Yes.
I was pouring and left empty. Then I'm weak and I'm broken, I'm disillusioned. Lord, what am I supposed to, I'm everywhere. But now I've learned to only pour from a place of overflow. If I don't have it to give to you, honey, I love you.
That's right.
Still gonna love you. So, but I've just learned that. So in essence, relationships are a mirror reflecting our values and aspirations. They require investment and care that can yield profound rewards. By nurturing authentic connections, we create a network of support that enriches our lives, fosters resilience, and ultimately leads to a more fulfilling existence. Experiencing the journey of building and maintaining relationships is one of the most impactful choices we can make, as it shapes not only who we are today, without talking about the ultimate relationship. And I don't really need no picture. So I want to tell you guys a story. Jackie Hill Perry, I think, is made really famous, that I just absolutely love, that I encountered again last night. So how many of you guys have been to Olive Garden?
Hell yeah.
I got a hell yeah in the room.
Something you can't
So,
go wrong with there.
We all know how you sit down at your table and they bring you these absolutely fabulous and delicious breadsticks.
Hell yeah.
Right? Getting hell yeah. And we fill ourselves, engorging ourselves on the salad. That's even before we've gotten the menu. And finally the waitress comes over and she's like, okay, they're eating, they're happy. She brings us a menu. We order, so I get the same thing every time. And most of the time, I get soup. I love their soup, so I get the Zupa soup, and I get 5 bowls of Zupa soup. And I take my entree that I order for dinner or lunch the next day. That's my process. But we make our order. We're engorging ourselves on the breadsticks and the salad. And lo and behold, the waitress comes by and she brings us our. But you know what? Something has changed in us. We no longer have a desire for the honor, and waited for is right here now in front of us, and we don't even want it. Why is that? Why is that? We filled ourselves on salad and bread. I want to introduce you guys today to the author or the originator, the bread of life. And that would be Jesus Christ. Why are we not hungry for other things? That person that fills themselves with the bread of life, aka Jesus Christ, you no longer have desires or wants or needs outside of him. He fills food, fills you up. But see, when you fill yourself with Jesus Christ, he fills you up. He satisfies you. You're not lacking or wanting for anything or needing for anything. Everything that you need, you dream for, you hope for, you aspire for, he can provide that. So many people searching and seeking, I need this romantic relationship. I need this friendship relationship. I need this work relationship. I might even need that family relationship, or wanting or needing. I challenge you today as a coach, that's my job, is to challenge, to seek the ultimate filler, the bread of life, Jesus Christ. if you want to really be full, if you want to really experience relationship, as we used to say as a kid, I double dog dare you.
No, I triple dog dare you.
I triple dog dare you. Okay? And it's simple. Just asking him into your life today. Simple request. All those that we're trying to fill with all these different types of relationships. I'm raising my hand because it was me. And it took this grief class that I'm going through to reflect and really see the totality of my life and realize through it all, he was there. Through it all, every answer I needed came from him. So, this has been your boy, Coach G.
Thank you. So, let me follow up real quick, because you just said he was there. Gary, before he was there. So I wanted to get intentional on that invite and just become aware he is here.
Yeah,
He's not waiting on our invitations, he's been waiting
yeah.
for a long time on a lot of people. So let's be aware and let's give thanks
Yeah.
that he's always here.
Yeah.
And then invite him into your intentional daily practice, right? Daily awareness. Thank you so much for that. I found a bunch of energy running through you, bringing that forward. It's a super powerful message, and I know that a lot of you on the replay, this may be something you need to go and listen, right? It's something that you've been working on these last few years where you became aware now, hey, I've reached this point, it's going to require this, I'm willing to do this, and now God has taken me over here. And then it's repeat. Right? What do they say? Something wash, repeat. You could just reuse that practice and continue your growth, continue your journey with your belief system, with God, with your faith, all of that. But I feel like we keep getting rooted back to the pause and the breath. Because as long as we're running ragged, trying to do all these things for everybody else and everything else, and the enemy will strike.
Yeah.
So let's stay strong together, guys. That's what we're all here for. That's what the community is for, is to hold that space that Gary kept mentioning. That, and it's the same, it's mutual, because we have the understanding that life is a mirror. So it's just as fulfilling for James and I and all of the leadership in AYPN. This is an energy exchange that we do with the people within our community. And we help strengthen each other and lift each other up. So, absolutely. Vulnerability and communication. So, communication requires to accept what they're going to say back to you, because it's not always what we want to hear. So, and whether it's applicable or not, like Evan said earlier, thank you for this experience and giving me the knowledge, giving me the awareness. And now I can say, I'm making an educated guess on my next best step. So, thank you. We're down to 2 more speakers. So our next, we already know who's going last. Wild guess, anybody? But our next speaker is someone have her speak and share. We know that getting here on a Saturday morning is not the easiest to come share her life experience and all the wisdom that comes behind it. But I also want to give a special shout out because Abigail, our next speaker, she is our Activate Your Power Now photographer. So all the cool pictures you ever see us pushing out through AYPN, that's Abigail. So hit her up. She does private sessions and she's a great photographer. So welcome Abigail to the stage.
you. I want to make sure, you can see me. I'm small in the middle. Cool. Good morning, you guys. Good morning. And this is where every single time I come and I have in my notes, I'm like, I know what I'm going to say. I understand what I'm going to say. And then I hear all of these activating voices. And now I'm like, damn, it all changed. It's all changed now. But you know what was playing in my head when you were talking, Gary, was, you know that song by Mary, Mary, Go Get It? Go get it. Go get your blessings. So I'm gonna take it back. You kind of understand, like, my view on relationships has immensely grown over and it's like I started the first relationship from not one but two toxic parents. So from the masculine side of my energy, it was very of me that I had to break. I had to break that cycle in my head of that's what my masculine energy looks like. My feminine side was weak and, I mean, not weak. My mother was a very strong woman. She allowed the other relationships in her life to have more weakness than her strength. She was not able to stand up for herself for things. She was not able to tell people how she felt in the moment. She was too afraid of being alone. And like Gary said, if you got God with you, you're really never alone.
Right.
You're never alone. So that was my first two relationships. I show gratitude for having it in my life and having those experiences, but also the awareness to know that that's not who I am. That's where I came from. The second set of relationships that I had was my siblings. I come from all brothers, all boys. Again, if all they saw was a violent, hateful, very toxic environment, then what are they pushing out? And so again, my second, and they were players, right? I saw my brothers pull some ladies all the time. And what I did was I took that as, I would rather be the player than get played. And then the third round of relationships is with someone that I love and I want to have a relationship with. And again, I've just carried my baggage from my only, at least they're kissing and hugging, so this is what I should feel where I'm like, I really want this to be different from everything else. I really wanted like that white picket fence that you see on these gushy movies and stuff. That's what I wanted. I wanted my kids to have that 2-parent home, and I didn't know how to bring it. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought that love was when you chased and stuff. We've all had those crazy relationships where you're just like, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should write them a love note that tells them like 3 pages long how I'm feeling right now. And then all of a sudden they'll act differently or they'll show me more love. The whole time I'm not loving my love. What does that even look like, right? Out drinking, doing all kinds of fun stuff. And the relationships around me, the only one, the fourth relationship was business. Right? So from a young age, because all I saw was all of this toxic, feminine and masculine energy, I was like, you know what's safe for me? Money. Money is safe. That gives me some sort of stability with relationships because over the years, I learned that if I made somebody else money and they helped me make money, then we had a good relationship. So I see like that's positive, that's reciprocation. But through money. And because all people really saw of me is how I could make money. And I could generate money really well. I'm really good at it. And then it, with the relationship of my kids' dad, that's when the two kind of got mixed. Was we were making money together but then I felt used the entire time. And I was allowing myself to be used in this relationship where now the money's not the same. And so taking piece by piece and really sitting with yourself and being like, man, how am I showing up for myself? You know, Shannon, you got me there. That was rude when you asked me to name 5 things, and I was all with it. I was like, 1, my kids, 2, my grandparents, 3, my cat. I was not on my list. I was one up today, and how dare I? How dare I not put myself at the top of that list, even when I'm looking this good today? Like, so rude. Like, I woke up this morning, took a nice cold shower and everything, and brushed my hair, and then still put it over a ponytail. But we're not gonna go there. It's progress, and like each day I'm going through, it's progress, and it's like what really got me was even after the business relationship number 5, and that's my kids. And I always get to talking about my kids and I cry, so I'm gonna try really hard not to. But that was the one. The relationship I have with my daughters was where I was like, I can't show up. How am I supposed to show up? You know, and I could see the detrimental, the first, you know, money getting mowed, and I was so wrapped up in the toxicness with their dad that I couldn't see how important my relationships. And I'm bringing my babies negative energy and wondering why they act out all the time. Wondering why I can't have a decent conversation with my daughter without her getting angry with me, you know? And I'm like over here like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, you know? And I had to sit with myself. And I had to go in the drawing board and write down what were all the little things that these other relationships have put in my head I no longer need. I don't need these anymore. I don't need to believe the things my mama told me or my daddy told me, or obviously what they did. Again, I show gratitude in everything I do. Every relationship I walk into, I try to find the fact that you were in my presence for however long, however many seasons. I'm grateful for your existence in my life. But where your presence holds up the weight I set down, you put yourself. And so relationships to me, I start with my core. You know, and like I said, I already called myself out. I cheated because I say every day, I am worthy. I am loved. I am health. I am wealth. I have an abundance of everything I need every day. Regardless of anything, you know, I'm going to find a way to smile about it. And those pieces of those relationships, until you can really dissolve the ones that aren't, let alone all these others that you're supposed to just for being alive. You're supposed to have some sort of relationship with all these different people. And, you know, I haven't spoken to my father in a few years now because I came to a place, especially with the anger and the violence, which held me, you know, on like this pedestal of ego and arrogance trip. And something that, Gary, that I have been for a long time, I've had to battle with my self-worth is like, I want to be proud of myself. I want to be grounded in my successes and where I'm going and the relationship I have with myself. But for a long time, I was like, oh, I don't want to come off cocky. I don't want to come off arrogant. I don't want people to think I'm all about myself. Why not? Why not? Because, you know, and you reminded me this when I called you and said, is this the one we're going to? This is the coffee shop that I met Izzy at first time. First time 2 years ago, and the person I was when I walked in that coffee shop a few years ago, because of Izzy's impact in my life, because it was just me and God. You know, it was hard for me to show up on Saturday mornings. It was hard for me to show up when the father of my kids was dying. You know, because I didn't want to say things out of pocket. I had a lot of emotions going on. I know feedback. And now, I'm not afraid to say anything because it was my experience.
That's right.
After that, I know it's going to be beautiful. I know it's going to be abundant because if I'm locked in then all the relationships around me will be locked in.
Yeah.
So, okay, but this is where I'm ending it, y'all. Sorry. If you stay, right? So all of these relationships that you have had throughout your life, they kept you in a certain headspace, which is an environment, a space. If you continue to stay around the same people that have kept you down in your mind or physically, you will never rise. So you have to get out of that environment, because where you're at is not where you're going. So appreciate your space and time today, because
Thank you, Abigail. And I want to say that first and foremost, it's not arrogance, and it's especially, how do we know it's not arrogant, right? How do we know if we're being confident and not being arrogant? And what I say, because I have faced that same thoughts or feeling before also, but I say it's what you do with it. Right? We're not hoarding our blessings, Abigail. We're not hoarding our growth to just be impactful to us and our little world and our little life. We're stepping out there to the world and being a healthy relationship to the people in your environment, in your circle, and everything. You're giving back with all the blessings that you're being vocal about. So to me, it's only arrogant when you're taking all these blessings in life and you're taking them to your own little space and saying, ha, ha, they're mine. You don't get any. You're not worthy. You didn't put in the work. So for that, I say, I don't see it as arrogance. I see it as confidence. I see it as a leader in declaring confidence, true confidence, like we spoke on in 2023. So you keep doing it from those chains and from those spaces and cages. So thank you so much for your share. And I love how you broke down the relationship starts first, right? Because that's, again, intentional living. When you take the workshop through AYPN or other spaces where we host it, that's part of intentional living. I literally have to break down who I was by breaking down the order of my existence. And who was influencing me at those different times of the existence. And it brought a lot of clarity, so good job for doing the work and keep showing up. So we are toward the end of this, of our AYPN event today. She's just gonna come, she's gonna lay it on us. She has a great way of just taking everything that was said today, packaging it up in a very powerful message and just giving it to us. So please welcome the healer of queens and kings,
Come on.
Evie Ballin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Woo. We talk about situationships, we talk about loving ourselves. So my question to you is, are you ordering your love unequally yoked? Are you ordering your love unequally yoked? Are you having a situationship with the devil while holding hands and having a relationship with God? Can't do both. When you get to a place where you are so unequally yoked that you don't know exactly what you ordered, some women are so used to falling in love with the man of their dreams that they're laid up with the man of their nightmares, confused on that over easy love they ordered. We get to a place where we believe that that's part of you, but you forgot that every time that you lay down with somebody, you forgot the part of you left behind. You leave a little piece of you with them, and you forget that you didn't even know him, but you left you with him. You trusted him with some parts of you that you didn't even understand. You just don't get it. You put yourself in somebody else's hands. we talk about leadership and how the man is supposed to lead or how we're supposed to submit, but we continually talk about how we're going to do things 50-50. What are we setting ourselves wolf tickets on a particular lie? We talk about we're going to do this and leadership is high. But we want to understand why someone wants to make sure that your scent is on my thighs and yet you're walking around here like a stray dog peeing on trees and making your noticing sense. But the funny part is that why would I want a stray dog whose only scent is intangible intimacy? We just don't seem to get it. We look for relationships that make sense. We continuously put ourselves in situationships. We call it love. And yet, if you loved you first, you wouldn't have been there in the first place. Did you ever think about loving you first? We always put ourselves last. We always, it's okay, it'll pass, he'll change, she'll change, we'll make it something different. I can love you into the best version of you, but I have to let go of the last version of me to do it. Me. And yet as women, we wander around, you forget that the same man that you're trying to make love you is the same one who's trying to love an unprotected daughter. Or an unprotected son of women, but an unprotected daughter of men. We get confused. Like Arya from Game of Thrones, we just remember all the countless faceless men. We forget who we are. We forget who we've been. We demand something that's always unattainable. You would think that I was asking you for things. You say that I'm too much. You say that too much comes with me. Everything that I expect must be a fantasy. It's some kind of supernatural entity. The funny part is that you act like I'm asking you for heaven's extra key. How can you give me something you can't even do? Ooh. We put ourselves out there. We say it's all right. We allow ourselves to just lay up and pretend that it's right. Why are you okay with walking around in fantasy and calling it reality? That's the same thing we do when we're looking at those reality TVs. When did you start living the life that you were already in? Well, that's okay, because we're like Arya, right? We just wander around with faceless, countless men. The hardest part is that the first person that loved you first was the one that's above you, but you always looking down. You started hanging your head because of everything you seem to come and find on the love that's on the ground. We wait for things you can find instead of looking for someone who found us for one eye. Won't even look at a verse. You won't open the 66 books, but you'll definitely quote it when someone is talking to you incorrectly. But how can you tell me how to be a Proverbs 31 woman on your request or from an unhealed son? This is what you wanted from me. I'm supposed to be the Proverbs 31 for you, and yet you could not find the love of him for me. How is that going to be? We allow it. It's a ship. So while I'm on my ship and my vessels are there, I'm on the healing journey and see it forgiveness because I know that's where I belong. He threw it there. My vessel, her ship, and the one I'm riding through. My vessel is called intimacy because I'm just confused on what you expected of me. You thought I was going to be someone. I'm confused. Why do I have to be mystical when I'm just missing the coals in me? I miss the coal, and yet my magic is only good for you. Why can't I be magic to me? When did we start giving ourselves away so much that you actually made yourself, now you can see me, and now that you don't, and I'm allowing you to brush me through the waters of the sea, pretending who you pick up is always me. I adapt, I shift, I allow you to hold on to me, I allow you to take from me, and then I say, I'll play the role you gave to me. Is this Broadway? Is this play? I think the action ends, don't you? How long are you going to stand and allow them to run right through you? Or you say that I'm going to ascend? How can I see myself soaring when I've allowed myself and my wings? Am I the only woman who's had her wings clipped by sailors promising wonderful voyages only to find that you delivered me to a slaver that says I love you? I'm confused. Why do you only love me? Why do you have to receive something from me to find something in me? Why has it always got to be a dividend? Why is it always gotta be a cash out for me to give you something else out? If I just have to put my ass out, that's all you need from me, that's what you want to see. You only want me face down, never my face is up, never believing in who I'm supposed to be. Why not pour into me? Why do you get to be the only one pouring from me? Why do I always have completion because of your completion of your time with me? And then you're left with nothing left. And they say, go on, be free. I'm through with using you like you were using me. I don't understand the dismissal. It's no longer school, but the bell's always ringing. We have red flags and we just see them always ascending, never paying attention, just watching them wave in the wind and saying, but he loved me. I know it within, it's always there. He was always the one, but yet the sea that you sent on, you're always shrinking. Here we are on the Titanic, and I'm believing that there's enough room on this board for you and me. Why am I always trying to save you? Do I know you? Or are you only the person that you pretend to be so that you can continue to be in me? It's confusing, you see, for somebody else's unhealed son. I shouldn't have to hide. I remember being the girl in all the broken versions of me. I was checking my ship's ledger, and the only one I can see is the people pleaser, the one who had shame, the one who was falling behind, the one that never came, the one that actually said it was okay, the one who didn't mind you hitting me because, well, at least you'd stay. Why do we do that to ourselves? We accept pain and we accept person, but we never accept the person that we're supposed to be without the pain. Why does everything, love doesn't supposed to hurt? And yet we allow it to, because then we can say love hurt too. And if we allow ourselves to be in that much pain and we allow ourselves to hurt, then why is it that love always causes pain? Is that love, or am I in your own personal disdain? I allowed you to treat me like an outline on a crime scene. I'm just laying here dead calling it love. They put a chalk outline around my heart and it's so cold and dead, and yet here I am all in my head. If I could just be who they said I could be. I'm looking through the script and I can't seem to find my words. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if you wrote this part for me. I keep adapting and shrinking, and there goes my wings all again. I let you clip them once again. Here we go. Back into a slaver's hands, trying to collect the last name only to be somebody else's disdain. How is this working for me? I don't love me either. You can't see me either. When you look in the mirror, do you look free? Probably not. When was the last time you looked in there and actually saw what you needed to see? We always on these relationships, situationships, all the ships we go on, all the ledgers are there. And yet it wasn't until I remembered, like Simba, whose I was, that the journey could be what it needed to be. Once you remember who you are, you see they call me the hood of kings and queens. Because I am the one who helps you find the crown that was always a island. You're the one who forgot that it was there. The problem is not you. You see, they told me I found that I was always worthy. And the reason why they convinced me otherwise is because everything connected to my purpose would fail if I do. You see, you have to heal, not just for you. Everything must be free. And you're going to make sure you check your ledger. And the first thing that should be there when you're talking about love is you.
Yes. Told you she was gonna bring it. Are you guys ready for that?
No.
I never am. I always think I'm ready, and then I'm like, wait, she's talking.
Right, and then she get the flowing though. Then the words, I'm like, did she just rhyme? She did.
Right. I'm like, it's pretty good, and it's just so natural. I'm like, we just love Evie so much here, and we love how she pours herself. I mean, she gives us, when we talk wrong, when we talk authentic, that's, Evie represents all of that really well. But what I did take from it right off the bat was, are my relationships equally yoked? And that's definitely something as I evaluate, that, it was a great refresher to go back through my list and see, again, it's not about what other people should be doing better or could be doing better. It's more about how will I choose to show up better knowing this is what it is, right? Leading the way of showing what compassion, understanding, holding space, and holding space again is holding healthy space. That means you need to be over there right now and I need to be over here, but that's okay because here we're out of each other's way. We can continue to grow, thrive, all of those things. And I promise one thing I've learned is, especially since space for people, they will make their way back. Because that type of space, when we hold it, is like a lighthouse, right? We're not going and trying to be in all the folks' faces. Hey, I'm here. We know you're there. We know you're there. We see your light. You're guiding us, even when you can't see us. We can see you.
Yes, absolutely. And feel you, right? Your light becomes a signal. You become the beacon. Right? Now you have all these people gravitating and magnetizing themselves to you by you being you, by you loving you, by you allowing yourself to be you.
So let's, if anything else is, I think that's a great place to end is be you. The goal is not to change who you are, the goal is to craft who you are. And only you will be given the step-by-step directions of how to do that. We could just hold space for you so that you could be on that journey. So the work is yours to do. And just as Evan opened us up and got our energy right, he's going to go ahead and do a reset of the energy here and get us up and going, get our blood flowing, ready for the day, for this beautiful Saturday. And then we'll take our group picture after we.
Yeah, AYPN.
Indeed.
You're saying get out of the way, Evan?
Yes, so we started grounding. Let's go ahead and actually, if you would like to, if you want to stand up, you can. If you got room around you, or you can perfectly sit in your seat. Okay, we're just going to add some movement. So let's start with our fingers, right? So go ahead and wiggle your fingers around, right? Wiggle them like you got magic on the tips, right? So I'm like
you just
magic. Yeah, tickling the ivories, right? Yes, now shaking the hands. Abigail's already with it. So shake your hands out. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Even do some chops, right? Chop them around. Vegetables.
Meat.
Nice. Yes, okay.
Or grains.
Mhm. Okay, now pause the hands. Go ahead and roll the shoulders back, roll them back, up and back, up and back. Big circles, wake them up. And then opposite way, roll them. Roll them.
Bring it forward.
Yes. Did you stretch this morning? It's like, well, you did it now. Let's go. All right, so next thing, make sure you don't hit your partner next to you. I want you to breathe your hands over your head. Bring them together. Exhale. Down the center. We're going to do that for a string, a connection. So you breathe and settle into that connection. That's always there. Inhale. Exhale. This is the last time. Slowly bring those hands down to your chest. And gently just close your eyes for a moment. And as we took that moment of silence in honor of the connections that we reaffirmed, reestablished, or even made new today. All of our ones that have connected with us over a distance online, we thank you for being here today. And to all my friends and family, I appreciate you, I love you, and go forth and be you. You are activated.
Thank you.